All right, hello everyone. Movie Albert here at Al's Place, and today I want to talk about my go-to Christmas movie. A movie I try to watch every Christmas because the movie takes place at Christmas time. And today I want to talk about a terrific movie with Katharine Hepburn, Peter O'Toole, Anthony Hopkins, Timothy Dalton, and a great cast. And the movie, I have the DVD, of course, is The Lion in Winter. Now, this movie came out in 1968, so it's 57 years old, but it still holds up today. It's a terrific movie, great verbal dialogue, um, just a wonderful movie experience. And I remember seeing the movie back when it came out and how impressed I was with the movie when I saw it in the theater. And what's cool about the movie is I had a chance to see it at the Terra Theater here in Atlanta. They're showing a Christmas movie, you know, each week until Christmas. Like this week, it's A Wonderful Life. But last week, they had The Lion in Winter. Had a chance to go see it. Went last Saturday. And to see it on a big screen is just unbelievable because it's such a good movie. And it takes place at Christmas time. And here's the poster for it right here. And a synopsis of the movie. It's 1183 AD. The King Henry II, his three sons all want to inherit the throne, but he won't commit to a choice when he allows his imprisoned wife, Eleanor of Aquitaine, out for a Christmas visit. He lets her out every Christmas and Thanksgiving. And they all plot to force a decision to King Henry to choose who they want to succeed him. And of course, it's Christmas time at 1183. And Peter O'Toole, who plays King Henry, is planning to announce his successor to the throne. But the jockeying for the crown through its complex, Henry has three sons. They all want to inherit the throne. Now, Peter O'Toole, King Henry, he wants Prince John, played by Nigel Terry, to take over. Henry's wife, Queen Eleanor, Katharine Hepburn, she has better ideas. She believes their son, Prince Richard, played by a very young Anthony Hopkins, she wants him to be king. So as the family schemes to gather for the holidays, each tries to take the indecisive king to choose his or her choice. Uh, and it's just a terrific movie, like I said, and the dialogue is what is so good about it. Um, Now, I read the review for the movie from Siskel and Ebert when the movie came out. Um, and Gene Siskel, he really liked it. He said that, let me find it here. He says it's brilliant, witty, anti Shakespearean dialogue. It's powerful performances, especially, of course, Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole as sparring royals, and its clever handling of complex family dynamics, making it a literate and emotional, engaging historical drama far superior to more bloodless historical films like A Man for All Seasons. Uh, now, Ebert says it's great writing, which it is, by James Goldman's script. Intelligent handling of ideas and powerful emotional depth, unlike many historical epics. Stunning performances, Katharine Hepburn. Um, Let me get back here. Uh, Katharine Hepburn, Peter O'Toole was lauded as electrifying, delivering spectacular performances with verbal fireworks, making the royal sparring feel like a 12th century Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Great description of the movie. I couldn't have said it any better. They were really good. I have the cast. Let me find the cast here for you. Let's see here. There we go. And there you have, at the top, you have Timothy Dalton as Prince Philip of France. Uh, and the girl that plays the love interest that Peter O'Toole wants to have another child with. Uh, what was her name? Let me forget. Jane Marrow, I believe it was. And then you see, of course, Peter O'Toole and Anthony Hopkins. It's just that's the cast right there. And like I said, I had a chance to go see it at the Terra Theater here in Atlanta. I have a little clip of the of the um, of the theater when I went. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. Okay, here's the Terra Theater in Atlanta. Going to go in here today to watch A Lion in Winter, one showing at 3:45, I do believe, with Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn, my favorite Christmas movie. And the Terra Theater's been here since 1968, and the movie I'm seeing is from 1968. So we'll go in and check it out. That's the inside of the lobby of the theater. Um, it was in screen number 4. In that particular theater, they can show 35 millimeter and 70 millimeter. Of course, the presentation this time of The Lion in Winter was a 4K digital restoration, and it looked terrific. One of my all-time favorite movies, and like I told you, what Gene Siskel said about the movie, he absolutely loved it. And these guys here, they really got me to liking movies more. I used to love their show. It was on PBS, and then it went in the syndication. I love the way they sparred with one another and the movies. And they started out, they were writers for the newspapers, but and they just turned to these huge film critics that everybody appreciated, and they could really make or break a movie at the box office. They were my favorites, Siskel and Ebert. Um, here is here's Peter O'Toole with Katharine Hepburn. I mean, it's such a good movie. Um, and it's there's really they were great actors. Peter O'Toole he was good in just about everything he performed in. His first big hit was, of course, Lawrence of Arabia. I think he was like 22 years old when he did Lawrence of Arabia. It's just terrific. There's the cast there. You see Peter O'Toole, Katharine Hepburn, Jane Marrow, and Anthony Hopkins. Seen there. We got another shot there. Now, on the left there, that's Nigel Terry. He plays John. He's the one that Anthony Hopkins wants to be the next king, but he's really not the best choice. But I don't know why his character wanted him. And then there you have Katharine Hepburn, Anthony Hopkins. And that fellow there on the right, his name, he played one of the sons too. Let me see here. You would think I would remember. I've seen the movie so many times. John Castle. He plays Jeffrey. That's John Castle there. Of course, and I believe he is still around. Yeah, he was born in 1940, so he's still with us. Anthony Hopkins is still with us. Nigel Terry played John, and he passed away in 2015 at 69 years of age. And let's see here. Here's I got a black and white picture here of the cast. That's a publicity shot there. There's Nigel Terry. Anthony Hopkins, James Monroe, Timothy Dalton, Peter O'Toole, Katharine Hepburn, and and John Castle sitting there. Katharine Hepburn, she was great at everything she did. And the movie she did right before this movie was Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with the actually the love of her life, Spencer Tracy. She had just finished doing um, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and then she started filming The Lion in Winter. There's a very young Timothy Dalton there on the left. He played Prince Philip of France. And what he wanted to do was basically dethrone the whole King Henry Empire. He wanted to conquer. But that's a very young Timothy Dalton. The cast there. If you've never watched the movie, had a chance to watch it, I recommend it. It's available on DVD. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. But yeah, one thing I've noticed when I was checking out the movie and to do a podcast, I noticed a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of younger people, younger than I am, have been turned on to the movie, and they've been actually talking about the movie on these podcasts on YouTube, and they're very young, and they just thought it was fantastic. I didn't see any other podcasts where people didn't like it. It's such a well done movie. Um, so I thought that there you have Anthony Hopkins and Katharine Hepburn, Queen Eleanor, and she really wanted him to be king, and he was really the best one. But Peter O'Toole, that was not one of his favorite sons. For some reason, Anthony Hopkins, he thought Anthony Hopkins was a little bit smarter, I guess, than he was, and he was just he wanted um, Prince John. He wanted John to take over. Let's see. Another picture there. That's a great scene there where he goes to meet with King Henry, Peter O'Toole there, and Peter O'Toole wants Prince Philip to kind of lay low. And in the movie, what's known, Prince Philip and Anthony Hopkins, it comes out in the movie. Of course, it's not talked about very much, but it comes out in the movie. But they had a relationship where Anthony Hopkins knew the Timothy Dalton character, Prince Philip, since he was 15, and they spent a lot of time together. So you can sort of put it together yourself. But Katharine Hepburn won the Oscar for it in 1969 because the movie came out in 68. She tied with Barbra Streisand for Funny Girl in 1968. And Hepburn became the third performer to win the consecutive Oscars, and the first to win 3 awards for lead roles. It also won an Academy Award for Best Writing, which it should have won. It was terrific. And a great musical score by John Barry. I love the score in it. Now, it was nominated for Best Picture. It was also nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role, Peter O'Toole. He didn't win it. And Best Director, Anthony Harvey, was nominated, and Best Costume Design. But it won for Best Music, Best Writing, and Katharine Hepburn won the Oscar. One of my favorite movies. I hope if you've never seen the movie, you have a chance to watch it. If you like that, a movie that has great writing, great acting, and it runs right about almost 3 hours, not right at 3 hours, but it flows. It just moves along really well. Um, it also won. It won a Golden Globe for Best Picture. It won Best Actor Peter O'Toole a Golden Globe. Um, Nominee for Best Director Golden Globe, Anthony Harvey. Um, it's like I said, it's just one of the best movies I think I've ever seen, and I try to watch it every Christmas because it takes place at Christmas time, and you actually see them, wrap Christmas presents, and they put up a Christmas tree. Um, Katharine Hepburn made a comment, if I can find what she said um, about the movie. Let's see. It's a well acted movie. It's just really terrific. She she says something about she was told early on in life not to work with children in movies and not to work with a drunk. And rumor has it that Peter O'Toole was a heavy drinker back in the day, and they said half the time he would show up drunk on the set, but he was such a talent that he pulled it off, even though he had been drinking half the night and would show up for work. But she said it was kind of funny. She said, she was told not to work with children and people that drink a lot. But she did, and she got a little irritated, they say, on the set a lot of times with Peter O'Toole, but he was able to pull it off, and they did it, and she picked up the Academy Award. So it's just like one of my favorite movies that I wanted to talk about. So if you get a chance, please see it. It's really good. I just can't get over. Of course, Timothy Dalton went on to play James Bond. He he was very good as there. You see him with the Christmas tree. Anthony Hopkins there in the back, and then Nigel Terry there looking at the Christmas tree. Timothy Dalton was terrific. Great dialogue. There's a scene in it where, since Timothy Dalton's character is kind of like, for lack of a better word, an ass, and Peter O'Toole tells him, he says, your father would weep at the way he's running France. And then Timothy Dalton, Prince Philip, said, my father was a weeper. He so it's just like I said, it's some of the best dialogue. And there's a scene in it where Peter O'Toole says to Katharine Hepburn, you look terrible. And Katharine Hepburn says, well, I underslept a little, because the movie takes place right before Christmas, and they stay up all night. I mean, they're just constantly talking, and the whole thing is just it's just some great lines in the movie. It's just stuff that I'll always remember. That's the scene there where Timothy Dalton says, my father was a weeper. And Peter O'Toole says, well, I want peace. He wants peace with France. And then Timothy Dalton's character, Prince Philip, he says, piss on your peace. It's like I said, oh God, it's just great. It's just great writing. It's a movie that I could watch again and again. In fact, I'll probably watch it at home before Christmas on my DVD downstairs. And they don't get any better than Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole. They just don't get any better. It's funny. I was watching TCM a while ago, and they did a tribute to the people that's passed away this past year, 2025. And it's amazing how all the people that a lot of them that I grew up watching in the movies, and my first job it was a usher in a movie theater in my hometown. Uh, that was it. They passed away. You know, Gene Hackman, one of the great actors, passed away. You know, Robert Redford. It's but we have their movies to live to live on forever. We can watch them, and it's like they never left us. And it's just like Katharine Hepburn. It's just like she's still here. She never left. You can always watch her movies, and she's still around. Uh, and and Peter O'Toole, he passed away some years ago, and he made some terrific movies too. I don't think that there was a bad movie that Peter O'Toole was in that I didn't care for. He was so good. He's so talented. I think today I don't think they have any real movie stars today anymore. You have actors and actresses, but I don't consider. I guess it's my age telling it, but people coming out today in movies and stuff, I think they're actors, and some of them are very good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy a lot of performances by the new people, but to me, they're actors. They're not movie stars. But I don't know. It's just my opinion. I just when people um, pass away and they're no longer with us. Um, they're just a great cast. It's just they don't get any better than what you see right there. Um, and Anthony Hopkins is, I think that was, I believe this is one of his very first movies. Um, and he's so good. He's Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins has always been good. It's like a great cast, and it's well directed. It's well written. I mean, the writing is what's great about this movie. I mean, it's the writers where it's just the dialogue is superior. It's just great. I can't say enough good things about it. So, like I said, if you get a chance, check it out. The Lion in Winter. Um, and the runtime on the movie is, like I said, it's about 3 hours. My disc is from MGM. It was a Joseph E. Levine production, and I think that they own the Joseph E. Levine films. Uh, and Studio Canal, they're the ones that did the 4K restoration that I saw at the Terra Theater. We're very fortunate here in Atlanta to have a theater like the Terra, and the Regal closed the theater a few years ago, and then my good buddy Christopher Escobar and his group reopened it, and they're doing fantastic with it. And he also owns the Plaza here in Atlanta. Um, but the Terra and the Plaza are great places to watch movies. The Terra deals mainly in art house films. They do show some, Hollywood product too, but they deal mainly in art house, and they have 4 screens there. When that first opened, it was just one big screen. It was the Lowe's Terra. Then they divided it up and add, you know, 2 more screens. But it's 3 more screens to make it 4. But it's just a great place to watch a movie, and it was such a thrill to go to the Terra to see it, and I just that was one I was going to go check out. Now, It's a Wonderful Life I've seen. I may get a chance to see that this week before they leave. It's also a good movie. Anyway, that's my favorite Christmas movie. We all have favorite Christmas movies, and there's some really good Christmas movies. Don't get me wrong. Uh, I there's a lot of great Christmas movies, but this is just one that I always try to watch at Christmas time. I don't watch it any other time except from the holiday season. I'll drag it out and watch it. It's just such a good movie, The Lion in Winter. So that's my spiel. I always like to talk about new physical media, and one of the favorite company that I do like is Kino Lorber. They uh, they do a great job on restoring movies, a lot of the classics. And I had a chance to pick up a movie from Kino last week. I've seen it before, but I've never seen it restored. And the movie, yeah, I got to go back to my camera here. The movie is Metropolis. Now, this is, the classic movie. It's silent. Came out in 1927, and it's got 25 minutes of restored footage. And they say it's true. It's one of the most celebrated movies in cinema history. For the first time, Fritz Lang's version, which has influenced contemporary films like Blade Runner, Star Wars, and it's complete. And Kino put 25 minutes of newly discovered footage. Now, this disc, they produced it in 2010, but I just got a copy of it, of Metropolis. And it's got a great score by the Berlin Symphony Orchestra. And this is the original 1927 long version. Now, a lot of copies. I had a terrible 16 millimeter copy on DVD, and it was just really unwatchable. And then when I found out this was made available, I picked it up. And it's also got on the inside, it's got, of course, there you have the disc, but it's also got a supplemental disc, which I can't wait to see that. On Kino, they do a great job. It has a little on the inside. I'll show you. It has a little booklet. It's a long movie, but it's got the making and then the restoration. I'm going to watch it and I'll review it and show some scenes from it. But this is my latest pickup from Kino. Kino is one of my favorite companies. I really enjoy their product. You can go to their website and they have all kinds of terrific movies from all genres. They have, Hollywood movies that they've restored. They have art house classics. They have silent classics. But Kino does a great job. I highly recommend it. So, Metropolis. There was a version came out, I think, in the 80s or late 80s or early 90s, with a rock soundtrack on it. And they released that in the theaters. What was the Giorgio Moroder, I think, did the soundtrack to it. It wasn't very good. But it was good. I think they colorized some of it. But this one's the original black and white with 25 extra minutes of footage they found. And some of the footage is like they found a complete copy. Where were they? I think they found it in, I can't remember what, somewhere in Germany. They found a complete print of it, but some of the elements were bad. But they you can tell, the best parts of it look terrific. Then with the found footage, it's not quite as clear as the original, but it's so good though. It adds to the story of the found footage. But like I said, yeah. I believe TCM ran it one night on their Silent Sunday Night, but it's just I wanted to pick this up, and it wasn't that expensive, but Kino does a great job. So that was my physical media pick last week. I'm going to hold off until after Christmas to get anything else, But anyway, I wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to talk about The Lion in Winter, which is, like I said, a wonderful movie. And if you get a chance, sorry, I'll show you the poster one more time. There you go. So. And of course, this is the video copy. You can follow me on Twitch. I like Twitch a lot. Movie Albert on Twitch. am also, I've got this here on YouTube. It's Al's Place. If you go to YouTube and just type in Al's Place, it'll pull my page up. And there's Twitch. I'm also on Facebook. It's Film and Movie Enthusiast. That's on Facebook. And I also have a Letterbox account. I review movies on Letterbox. It's an online community of people who enjoy movies and physical media, going to the movie theaters and things like that. And I review movies on Letterbox. And it's Movie Albert on Letterbox. And also there's an audio version. I saved the audio version, and it's on all the audio platforms, Spotify and Apple. And so if you just want to listen to it, and if you're hearing this on one of the platforms, audio only, just go to YouTube and Al's Place. You can see the video. Also on Twitch, you can see the video. Now Twitch is very good, but they don't retain the video after a week. But YouTube, of course, is there, Al's Place, all the time. And so, pass it along and give me some likes and subscribe. I think I have 217 members now. I like to build it up. So tell a friend, and if you like what you see and hear, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I would appreciate it. And I think me and my buddy Chance Bartels, I think we're going to do a podcast together. We started out doing podcasts here in my studio back in 2019. But I think we're going to do one, we talked about it, on actors and actresses we lost in 2025. We usually try to do that every year. So we'll let you know when that happens. Like I said, we've lost a lot of good people this last year. But they'll always be with us on film, and that's a good thing. All right, well, listen, have yourself a great rest of the day. I wanted to come in here on Sunday, and I try to get on between 3 and 3:30 on Sundays, and so I'll post before I go on, I will post a time. But anyway, it's between 3 and 4 on Sunday, and I'm not sure when we'll do the podcast on people we lost in 2025 in the industry. So I think we're going to do that maybe Wednesday. So anyway, have yourself a great rest of the day, and thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And watch The Lion in Winter, and support Kino Lorber. All right. Have yourself a great rest of the day, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.